today my wife and I moved into our house. Some friends of ours were helping us move in, and they were carrying a large table into our house when they noticed a teenage girl cutting through our backyard. They put down the table, they say, "Steve, come over here." They showed me the girl, and they said, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" And I have no idea. I've never owned a house before. I've never had a yard before that's mine, and I had no idea. So I said, "I don't know." So I did what I do when I have any questions about home ownership. I called my father. Now, my father is a big man. He's 6'6". He speaks his mind, and he's very intense sometimes, a lot of the time, and he's obsessed with his lawn. Growing up, we weren't allowed to play on the front lawn. There was a very specific way you were supposed to cut the lawn. I guess in his own way, this was my father's way of carrying on the great American tradition of dominating nature. Instead of, conquering the West and fighting Native Americans, my father is trimming the hedges and, battling grubs. So I asked my dad, "Hey, what should I do about this?" And the other thing you need to realize is my dad is the actual storyteller of the family. I am not, he is. So instead of giving me straightforward advice, my dad told me a story. And this is the story. The house I grew up in, which is a corner house, actually right around the corner from where Nick grew up, the people that owned the house before my father, he was a very old man. He didn't care about his lawn at all. And so these middle schoolers would cut down an alley and then cut the corner across my parents' house front lawn. And there was actually a path worn into the front lawn from where the kids would walk. So when my parents bought the house, there was this, path across the front lawn. And that first spring, my father decided to grow grass. So the other thing you need to know about my father is he worked third shift at a printing plant. So he got home at 6, 7 in the morning, and he usually kind of hang out, decompress, and then go to bed. So my dad sets up this little sign that says, "Please don't walk on the lawn, I'm trying to grow grass." And that first morning, he's sitting on the front porch of our house in the spring, and he sees this group of middle schoolers come down the alleyway, and they look at the sign. And all of them stay on the sidewalk, except one kid, who just looks at the sign, steps over the sign, and walks on the path. Now my father walks out along and says, "Excuse me, did you see the sign? I'm trying to grow grass." And the kid said this to my father, who at the time is 6'6", big afro, huge beard. He says, "I've been walking this way for 3 years. I have 1 month of school left. I'm going to keep walking this way until the end of school." I think for the first time in my father's life, he is speechless. So, the next day, my father's waiting for this kid. And as the kid approaches, this pack of middle schoolers, my dad walks to the sidewalk and says, "Excuse me, what's your age?" Doesn't ask the kid's name. "What's your age?" Kid goes, "I'm 13. Why?" My dad says, a lie, he says, "Good, I'm 22, and I called my lawyer yesterday, and he says that if you're within 10 years of me, and you're on my property against my wishes, I'm allowed to beat the shit out of you. So, if I see you on my lawn again, it's your ass. And by the way, if you have a problem with that, or your parents have a problem with it, they know where I live." This is the story my dad tells me when I ask him, what do I do about a kid cutting across my lawn? Now, we can all agree, that is insane. But my father says, I never saw that kid again. So the message is loud and clear. What I need to do is threaten bodily harm on this child, which is not my style, even a little bit. So what happens is, I decide diplomacy is going to win out the day. So I see the young lady, and I'm not going to follow my dad's wishes at all. I say, "Excuse me, my name's Steve. My wife and I just moved into the house. What's your name?" She said her name is Coral. I said, "It's very nice to meet you. Would you mind not cutting across the lawn? And by the way, I'm in the wrong here. Who cares? It's grass. It saved her 3 minutes on the way to school. I'm totally in the wrong here, but I was young, I was prideful. I know that now." So I say, "Could you not cut across my lawn?" And Coral, her name Coral, says, "Absolutely, sorry about that." Awesome, diplomacy wins. I don't have to threaten this kid. I'll beat the shit. No, hey, can you not do this? Wonderful. A week later, I'm making breakfast in my kitchen. I'm putting peanut butter in an English muffin. I look out my kitchen window, and there's Coral walking across my yard. And my brain breaks. Because not only is she violating the sovereignty of my fescue lawn, but on top of that, she lied to me. She lied to my face. And now I'm furious at 7:15 in the morning. And as she gets closer, she sees me looking at her. and we lock eyes, and she smirks and kind of gives me a little shrug saying, you caught me. And once again, my brain breaks. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I put down my English muffin, furious. And in this moment of rage where I don't know what to do, I scream, Coral! You know, like a crazy person. I forgot my window was open. And Coral is frozen. And she peeks back at me terrified. And I give her a smirk and a shrug, like, you caught me. And she never stepped foot on my lawn ever again. Years later, we're friends with her parents. Hey, we're having a barbecue, come on over. Coral, no Coral ever came to the barbecue. Every single year. No, it's fine, I'm sorry. I've apologized profusely. No, never came back. So I guess the moral of the story is, well, get off my lawn. Thank you very much.